Much anticipated Matriarch is out now. Miss Tina is currently on an international book tour, but first she is here for the full hour with the Tam fam. The heart of this book, you talk about, you wanted this to be a healing process. Like the rest of the world, I had no idea that you were diagnosed with breast cancer. You revealed it for the first time. Your last mammogram was 2 years prior.
I thought it was 2 years prior, but it was 3 years prior. When I went in 2024 and they came back and told me that, I couldn't believe it. And I was like, I had one in 2023, but the hospital confirmed that I did not.
You did not.
So it's important that you just remember, guys, because you know, the thing is, I learned in this process that there is a stage 0 in cancer. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I thought it was just stage 1. So I was like, oh Lord, I'm so happy I got it stage 1. And my sister said, no, there's actually a stage 0. So if I had gone in 2022, it would have been at the stage 0. And thank God it was at stage 1 and they got it all and I'm healthy, I'm cancer free.
The doctor found, you write about the doctor finding a small tumor in your left breast.
Yes.
You had to have the cancerous tissue removed.
Yes.
You, as you pointed out, now in remission. You received the Glamour Women of the Year award. What's so striking about that, and this is why this memoir is so powerful, because people think they know, but you don't know until someone tells their story. In the memoir, you write about hiding this, and in your speech at the time, you said, nobody in that room but my girls could have known what I was talking about. I was still finding the words then to discuss the experience of cancer, but that had been my witnesses, my daughters, and my faith carried me through.
You know, I said that in that room because I was talking about how my girls could get me through anything. And nobody knew just how much, you know, we had just gone through that. Like literally, Beyonce was saying, Mama, you don't need to fly and you don't need to go down there to get that award. They can just give it to you. And I was like, but this is important to me and I'm gonna do it. But, you know, they were just concerned about all the excitement because I literally was a month out from having the second surgery because I had a breast reduction and I got an infection in my right breast. I went through it. And
how was it to go through it in such silence? Because we saw you right after. You came here to do our show at the end of the year. We were all regaling over how great this moment was, this speech, and that you were being celebrated and the book was coming out. And you are not keeping a secret, but you're keeping it private.
Yeah.
Being one of the most famous moms in the world.
I mean, it was hard. It wasn't hard to write it because I wrote it, but I said I'm not gonna put it in. Then I put it in because you know this is like 2 endings. I had already finished, and then I said this is important for me to share with people because as a woman, I know that I put myself last sometimes, especially, and that I don't want people to do that because that, you know, me getting that at stage 1 is the reason why I'm here and I'm healthy now. And so it's important.
You talk about in the book how Beyonce, Solange, and Kelly surprised you at the hospital.
And Angie.
And Angie. And they started playing that very demure videos from...
Yeah, because they got real deep there. Like, you know, I don't know. I was going in for the surgery and they were there to support me and they sung Walk With Me, which is a song they used to sing. And I just got very emotional and started thinking about my mom and crying. And so Solange just figured out this way to lighten it up. So she said, look at this. You're not being very demure. And so I'm like, what are you talking about? Now look at this video. We just laughed and we laughed. And then as I was being wheeled out, you know, they were like, be demure in that surgery. And, you know, it was just really great. Yeah.
We actually have a video of you surprising Jules, the content creator who came up with that. Great. Let's play it.
You're in my book a little bit. Oh, no way. I had a very, very scary thing to happen to me. I was crying. I was like really scared and upset. All of my girls were there and they just had to figure out a way to make me laugh. So they pulled up your video You were so wonderful saying demure.
Very demure and very mindful.
We just kept watching that video over and over. Give me your speech.
We're not like those other girls. We keep it very demure. We keep it very mindful. We're cognizant of how we move in the world. We don't do ooky, spooky, kooky, and creepy. We think about our actions before we put them out there. We think before we speak because we're what? Very demure and very mindful of how we perceive ourselves.
Exactly.
So it's funny to think about being demure when you got a hospital gown on, all your butt is out, and going into surgery, but I was demure.
You were demure and cutesy. Before she was demure and cutesy, she was called Badass Teeny. We're gonna talk to Miss Tina about her nickname and why she decided to talk about her marriages after the break.
Coming up, Tina Knowles on what it took for her to walk away from love.
By the end of the marriage, I just felt like I wasn't being my full 100% self. I was dumbing myself down. I was shrinking myself a lot.
And becoming a first-time mom in the shadow of grief.
My mom died 6 months after I got married, and I was super close to my mom. My mom was everything to me. And she died, and then I got pregnant right away with Beyonce.